Hey everyone, I'm Christine from This Bit of Life, and I am so excited to show you guys inside of Rabbit Trails Through Literature Volume 2. Oh my goodness, I'm pumped. So I hope that my dog doesn't bark and that there isn't hammering or anything like that. We've got a couple guys here working on our house. And my hound dog likes to just, make sure everyone knows that she's present when they walk in and out of the door. So hopefully we won't have a whole lot of interruptions or background noise. But I am thrilled to show you guys inside of this. I've been working so hard on getting Volume 2 out. So it is up for pre-release right now. And what that means is that you can buy the entire curriculum at 10% off. When you purchase it now, you will immediately get the first 2 lessons, and that's 4 weeks worth of work. And then by May 15th, I will have every single lesson up and ready for you guys to download. So everyone who purchases now will get the whole thing by May 15th. You will have the first 2 lessons to work on now if you're already ready to do this in your homeschool. And if you are wanting to buy it for next school year, then you have nothing to lose. You actually save 10%. So the coupon code for that is RT10, so RT10 for Rabbit Trails 10. To get that 10% off of Volume 2. That coupon code is also good for Volume 1 and for Rabbit Trails Through Science as well. So you guys might as well use it on everything. Get that 10% off while you can. So let me show you guys inside of this. I'm so excited. Okay, so first off, we need to talk about the books, right? So I'm actually going to toss this to the side and I'm going to get the books for you guys to see. So there are 16 books that go along with this curriculum. Every single lesson has a book that it is centered around. So you will learn all of the grammar skills and copy work and all the stuff based off of one book per lesson. So I hope I have them all here. I know I did. I was actually organized. I went through and made sure I had all the books instead of missing some. So the first one is Last Stop on Market Street. How Rufus the Dragon Lost His Head. Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, Sylvester and the Magic Pebble, A Donkey Reads, The Blessing Cup, Sam and Dave Dig a Hole, Stregonona. It's one of my favorites from when I was a kid. Oh my goodness. Gus Was a Friendly Ghost, and this is actually my childhood copy, which makes it oh so fun. Mr. Rabbit and the Lovely Present, Lobster Man, One Leaf Rides the Wind, Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears, The Girl Who Loved Wild Horses, My Mouth is a Volcano, and we actually, inside of this lesson, we've got a top picks lady featured with one of her volcano books. So exciting. I love being able to collaborate that way. So I will be talking about all about that one day when we have this lesson all set for you guys to go, and I'll show you guys inside of it just to show off her book. It's so exciting. And last but not least, we have The Song and Dance Man. So that's a lot of books. That's 16 books that make up the core of the curriculum. And I purposely am choosing books that are Caldecott Award winners. I am purposely choosing books that are bestsellers, that have stood the test of time, because you can get a majority of these probably at your library. I know last year while libraries were closed, I was looking for books we could watch on YouTube and other people reading them aloud on YouTube. So I'm almost positive all of these are also on YouTube as read alouds, found in your library super easily. You can find them on used book sites. That's how I've got a majority of these myself. Or just simple, go on Amazon. I have them all in my Amazon shop for you guys to simply click through and add to cart for all of them as well if you're wanting to own them and build your home library with them, because they're amazing books. And so they're ones that I bought every single copy because I just want to build my home library with really quality picture books. So inside of each lesson, I'm going to show you guys the second lesson. This is the sample lesson that you guys can get straight from my website. So you can get the full sample lesson of the second lesson, which is How Rufus the Dragon Lost His Head. Such a cute book. Oh my goodness. So you guys can get a download of that whole lesson as a sample. But what it goes through is every single lesson has a lesson inside of it that will go down some type of grammar skill, or it will go into some type of parts of speech or figure of speech or poetry or whatever it is. I'll go through all the lessons for you guys here in just a second too. But that's what the lessons are going to be made of. Everything's going to be done in just a typical notebook that you can get from Walmart or wherever. You can choose what type of notebook would be best for your child, whether it's wide ruled or college ruled, or the primary notebooks that have like the lines with the dots if you have an early writer. So they can do all of their copy work in there. They can do their crafts in there, or even have a separate folder if they're doing larger crafts like on construction paper. Writing assignments, all of that can go straight into just a typical notebook. You don't need anything special. And then it makes a really amazing keepsake too, because then you're able to like look back and be like, look at how far you've come this year. It's all right there in that notebook for them. So in Rufus the Dragon Lost His Head, it's talking about learning about the beginning, middle, and end of a story. And so you are encouraging your children to point that out as you're going through this tale of Rufus the Dragon. And so the beauty of this is you can read it as many times as you want. You can go through and read it first and then revisit and try to point out the beginning, middle, and end after they've already heard the story once and revisit it for the second time. If you have an advanced learner, that's something that you can do at just a conversation after reading it the first time. Do however you need to do it for your own homeschool. So all of the Rabbit Trails curriculum is for all elementary ages. And so that's the amazing part, is you can use it for multiple kids. So if you have a first grader and a fourth grader, you can use them together and you can just work at their level. So the next thing that's in every single lesson is copy work. So in the copy work, there will be a quote from the book that they will use for copy work, and there's also a Bible verse. And then the really fun part is there's always some type of rabbit trail with that Bible verse that will tie it into whatever lesson's happening in that story, or maybe whatever lesson you can learn from that piece of copy work, the Bible verse and the little rabbit trail about that, almost like a little mini Bible lesson. We'll kind of rabbit trail off of whatever topic we can go on through that book. And so for Rufus the Dragon, the verse is Psalm 24:1. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. So Rufus the Dragon, inside of it, there's a king who sees Rufus flying around and is like, I want Rufus's head. I want it on my wall in my grand hall. So when I have these amazing parties, people will be like, oh my goodness, you have this amazing dragon head. You must be like this magnificent king. And so kings feel like they have that ownership, right? And so he's able to make rules, and he's able to order his knights to go hunt for Rufus. And so we know who truly is in control, though, right? We're able to know that the Lord is the King of Kings and that he's in control of all things. He created the world and everything in it. He created all of us and loves us all too. And so that is the little Bible verse rabbit trail that is taken in this lesson. And so it's just a really sweet way to incorporate that into your child's lessons. So this is considered a religious curriculum because I do have the Bible verse and little Bible rabbit trail included in it. And I do have some families that just choose to omit that and use everything else in the curriculum because it is fantastic. And it really gets kids learning through literature in just such a unique way. So I have people from all kinds of backgrounds using this, and I love that you're able to adjust it. You can go further down that rabbit trail from that Bible verse. Or you can choose to omit it and just move on and do different copy work from the book or whatever it is that you choose to do. And so every lesson also has some fun to do. And so inside of this lesson, let me get it out of this book so it's more easy to see. I should have just grabbed the notebook that we created this in. It's kind of hard to tell from my printout. So in this lesson, since we're learning about beginning, middle, and end of a story, we're just encouraging your kids to simply jot that down in their notebook. They can do it by drawing pictures. They can do it by writing. You can just make it as simple as just one sentence for beginning, middle, and end of just a synopsis, or you can make it a full detailed writing assignment where they can really get into detail of what happened at the beginning, middle, and end of how Rufus the Dragon lost his head. So that's all they're encouraged to do is in their notebook to divide it into 3 sections. My son drew a cute little Rufus for you guys in the sample there. I love it. So let them get creative with it. Let them have fun with it. Maybe they can make up their own story and do the beginning, middle, and end of their own story. that is the beauty of it. Again, make it your own. Make it to where it's going to be fun for your kids, to where they're going to be excited to learn. Because that's what we want. We want kids to be encouraged to love learning. We want them to be excited about it when you say, okay, it's time for rabbit trails. Yes! And be excited to grab that book, be excited to grab their notebook, because you can make it their own. I know I have a child who always likes to make things his own. So if I were to say, do it this way, he might say, so can I sort of do it that way, but can I add this twist to it? And so you have the freedom to do that with this curriculum. So inside of every lesson is a rabbit trail section and a library list section. So this has more books. And so the rabbit trails for Drufus the Dragon is learning about medieval times. So all of these books are going to be about medieval times. There's stuff about castles, knights and more dragons, more castles, medieval feasts, another dragon book. Always going to like a YouTube video to watch something on YouTube as well to learn a little bit more history through that or whatever the topic is. So there's an awesome video about medieval castles and knights that your kids can go discover. And so it's so much fun to be able to have more books. And so again, this is where you can be super adjustable with it. If you have other dragon books, or if you have other books about castles, or other books about knights, or anything that would deal with medieval history, whether you own them or your library has them, use those. You absolutely don't have to use this exact list. These are just ideas. Again, a lot of them are going to be bestsellers. A lot of them are going to be easily found at your library. So if they have them, great. Ideas are done for you. You don't have to try to find it yourself. And if it's something that they don't have, use whatever they have. Use whatever you have, because that is something you're absolutely able to do. If your child is only wanting to read 1 or 2 books as opposed to the 5 that are recommended here, do the 1 or 2 books. If they're just like, I could care less about medieval history, do just a couple, just to learn a little bit more, to dig down that rabbit trail a little bit deeper. If they're in love with medieval history, take multiple weeks to go through this. Don't be stuck in the, this is supposed to take 2 weeks to go through this lesson. Go as long as you need. So that's something that with why I created this curriculum is it's 32 weeks worth of content. I purposely made it on the short side because I want you guys to have time to dig deeper. I want you guys to have time to take field trips, to take sick days if you need sick days, or mental health days if you need those, so that you're not feeling behind in doing this. So if some lessons take a little bit longer to do, fantastic. If some lessons are a little bit shorter to do because your kid's just like, I don't like this topic, that's completely doable too. And that gives you more time to do those topics that they really do love. And so make it your own. It's supposed to be stress-free. It's supposed to be fun. And I just hope that it encourages you guys to be able to be flexible in that way. And then last but not least, every lesson has a More Ideas page as well. So in this More Ideas page is more ideas. I will usually recommend some type of craft there if it's not already in the more fun section. I try to include poetry in this for every single lesson as well. This one has some medieval poetry from Walter of Bibsworth, who is a 13th century knight. And he offered up this poem to remind children how to dress themselves. So it's just kind of like a nonsense poem that this knight came up with to remind kids how to dress themselves. There's also a recommendation of creating your own coat of arms. And so this can turn into a whole research project if you're wanting to in your homeschool. You guys can research what that means, research your own family. Maybe you guys actually have a coat of arms in your family, and that would be awesome to be able to look at that and why those things were included. Or just creating your own. Why would you include that in your own coat of arms? Make it into a shield out of cardboard. I know my family was super extra one year that we had to make shields, I think for Awana, and my husband made them wooden shields. And so they made their own coat of arms on a wooden shield, and it was just super fun for them. And so that was our way of going down that rabbit trail naturally, right? We were looking into all of that when it was just supposed to be for putting on the armor of God. And now they've got these wooden shields that they've kept all these years with our coat of arms on it. And so that's made it a really fun, inspiring project for us to encourage other families, people to do that. Do it on paper if you're not an arts and craft person. Do it on cardboard. Be super extra and make a wooden shield. Do whatever it is that you guys want to do. And then also making your own illuminated manuscripts like you see in the fairy tales and all that, those manuscripts of the big letters at the beginning of the story. and how they're all decorated and embellished with gold and silver. And so encouraging your kids to make those as well and kind of learning about those in your homeschool. So it's all going to be different ideas like that to include for just those more ideas to go down deeper down that rabbit trail, to just have fun and have fun learning. And that's what it's all about. I really just wanted rabbit trails to be something that inspires you guys to have fun. Because learning doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to just be worksheets and drills. It can absolutely be fun and learned in a gentle way that will very naturally review itself so that you guys can go through and have an amazing time. So let me get to what the lessons actually are for you guys and what the rabbit trails actually are as well. So like I said, there are 16 lessons. They're split up between 3 units so that every single unit will have a review lesson. So you can go through the different topics that you guys learned, simply review it very naturally. If your child does not need a lot of review, that's cool. If you feel like you want to go back and work a little bit harder on some of those concepts, you can do that as well, super simply. And then it gives, of course, a fun rabbit trail through all of those review lessons as well. So first up is Unit 1 goes over parts of a story. It goes over setting and characters, and then protagonist and antagonist, and then of course the review lesson. And the rabbit trails are volunteering, medieval times, Africa, seasons, Turkey, and Russia. So we've got a lot of fun geography coming up in Volume 2, which I'm very thrilled about. Unit 2 has adjectives, contractions, proper nouns, quotations, and review. And the rabbit trails are rocks and crystals, Italy, hibernation, fruit of the spirit, and crustaceans. And Unit 3 has haiku, problem and solution, simile, metaphor, and review. And the rabbit trails are Japan, the food chain, the plains, Indians, volcanoes, and vaudeville, which is such a fun topic. I'm so excited to be able to include that one. So that's it, guys. That is the inside of Rabbit Trails Through Literature, Volume 2. Absolutely, let me know if you have any questions after looking through this review. Any questions about the lessons, about the books, anything like that. If you have any comments, obviously I'd love to hear them. I hope you guys are just as excited about the books as I am, because I had so much fun at picking out the books. That to me is the most fun part about creating all of this, is spending the countless hours scrolling through book titles to find books to go with whatever topic I'm wanting in these. So make sure that you guys use your 10% off coupon, so RT10, RT10. I will post the link down in the comments for you guys to bring you directly to the webpage so you guys can easily access it. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions, and I am so excited to get this into your hands. All right, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you later.